so much for being here today. My name is Michael. I'm 39 years old. I live in Sweden, and I've been part of the Connect world since 4 years right now through the Green project. That was one of the pioneer project that ends up to develop to different products that are independent from each other, but they are dependent from the technology that Right Thurston and many different people created a long time ago. I think it was 7 years ago the development started. My story, I'm a former ice hockey player. I was drafted by NHL. I was, motivated to train a lot in my life, but I have some joint problems in my life that end up my dreams a little bit when I was 20 years old. And sometimes motivation stops when you don't chase a path, when you don't maybe sometimes earn money from what you're doing, and sometimes when you're not in a social environment with people. So I can feel a lot things with this product we're going to be introduced to today called Galvan. And the thing is, some people need some motivation sometimes to start doing things proactive today to get rewarded maybe in 20 years or even the next year. So that is a little bit about my story. And shortly, before we have our special guest here today, it's going to be amazing. So stay tuned. I'm going to introduce you a little bit about what is Connect. So let's start here. So today we're going to talk about Galvan, and Connect is a company that's been around for a long time now with software and so on. And now we have the opportunity also to get more information from different different projects that are going to disrupt different areas in the world right now. And health is the biggest industry in the world right now, if I'm not wrong. And doing that in a different manner than most companies out there doing it, to get rewarded for doing things that you're not rewarded for doing today, and many other things. You're going to be introduced to that later on here, so stay tuned for that. And very important also, as a disclaimer, the information in this presentation should not be considered as financial advice. We are not educated financial advisors. Do your own due diligence, get educated, knowledge is power, minimizing the risk, never invest in more you can afford to lose, very important, and diversify. And the great thing I feel about this Connect and all the different brands is that they are independent from each other, and they have a purpose also, extremely important. Most cryptocurrencies out there is a speculative market out there. People buy and hope someone will buy it for a higher price. So what they have here, just shortly, the products that are live right now, so you can understand. But before that, I'm going to introduce a little bit what is a node, because everyone sitting here today can own a part of the network. It's like you have the chance to own a cell tower before adaptation happen on the telephone. When people start using the telephone, imagine if you can own a cell tower, a piece of that, and every time someone is calling someone, you get a transaction and you get rewarded something for that. That's what you have the opportunity to have here. You can own a node. It's a software. You can download it on your computer, or you can even rent a VPS server, so you don't need to run it on your own computer. I think that's the amazing thing, that you can do something today and you can get rewarded tokens that have a big, huge chance to get a great value in the future. The more adaptation, the more value. And the purpose is extremely high here. And we have Element. They want to make gold more valuable outside the mine, so the gold can stay in the ground. That's going to be an amazing product. And we have also had Scott here previously. We're going to have Switch. It's combining many of the different products here. Many people today don't know how to enter the crypto world. So it's very important how people can come into the crypto world. They can also exchange from fiat to crypto, crypto to fiat, pay a power bill, and many other things. So you can also have 3 different cards that you can use regular and everyday life. We have Win, that's going to secure and verify everything that's happened on the social platform, and also on their affiliate Win chain system that we don't going to talk about today. We have Green. This is the pioneer project that everything started with 7 years ago. It was kind of analytics tool in the beginning that was developed into notes, and this gonna make you pay your power bill and get rewarded back in like a cashback way, so you can have your power bill for free in the future. We're gonna, if you don't have more about that, come back, you get more about that. And then we have Galvan. This is an amazing product. I'm not gonna steal the thunder here, because we have great people here today that can go over that much better than I can. So before that, I can this. So before I introduce these people, I can just do like this and stop my share here. Wait a little bit. There we go. So I've been, like I said, professional in ice hockey for a long time. You know, there's so much things out there to secure your data on the blockchain, and people need to feel free. You know, we live in a decentralized life right now, more and more every day. So everything, the whole ecosystem, it's in the Galvan ecosystem. It's going to be an amazing thing, but it's even very important to start with things people understand. And that's something you can get rewarded for doing something you already do, but get even more motivation. So today I'm going to introduce Nathan and Adam today, people I get to know a little bit. It's amazing people. So guys, the floor is yours. It's going to be amazing.
Sorry to say, but you forget Jeff.
Oh, Jeff is also here. Yeah. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sorry for that. I didn't see her exactly. So Jeff, I think I've been listening to Jeff several times already, and you know, all the things that's in the pipe and everything, the whole vision about it, where everything started and where we are right now. It's amazing. So welcome, Jeff. Also, thank you so much for being here. So the floor is yours.
1 second, can you please, Brian, can you make Jeff also co-host, if it's possible?
Thank you. Well,
Right.
Michael, that was a fantastic introduction. Thank you for having us. It's exciting to meet all of you. As was mentioned, we're gonna. So Nathan has the slides, and we're looking forward to presenting. So both Jeff, Nathan, and I will all be presenting a little bit to you today. And I just want to share. I'll share a little bit of my story as we go through here. We'll try and get through this relatively quickly to make sure that we can answer any questions that you may have. But I will tell you, so I joined the company on April 1st, so I'm new. I was in what I thought was the best job in the world. I'm an emergency physician. I work within arguably one of the highest performing health systems in the United States, called Kaiser Permanente, and was the director of what's called the Care Improvement Research Team there. And I saw some amazing things, and there is amazing work that gets done in the variety of health systems in the United States as well as internationally, as you all work with. There are unbelievably innumerable issues and challenges as well, and that's what brought me here. I feel like some of the issues that we come up against, and we'll talk a little bit about those, are things that Galvan and the blockchain and our decentralized mission to return ownership of health to the people that care about their health the most, which is those of us and our families, is really our mission, is to help improve health in a decentralized fashion, returning really ownership back to the people who always it was intended to be. Next slide, Nathan. So here are some of the issues with the current system, and I acknowledge, especially this group that comes from a different part of the world. Different health systems have different problems. They all have centralized control, to my knowledge, and there's reasons for how that evolved. There's woefully too much inefficiency. I think the pandemic, sadly, has caused an increase in the lack of trust in the system. In fact, even amongst physicians, they've done some survey research, at least in the United States, and found even 30% of physicians who work within their health system don't trust their health system, which is unfortunate. That's terrible, and it shouldn't be that way. Patients don't own even their own health information. Just to get the information of your diagnoses, the medications that you're taking, and your specific health information is not within your control and is usually essentially owned. And then there's poor transparency from everything related to which options are available for certain conditions, to the risks and benefits of certain medications or treatments or diagnostic tests. And so these are all issues that certainly cause a lot of problems and inefficiencies within our system. And one of the things to mention here is, at least in the United States, we're the worst. And I think this is true everywhere, but we're the worst. We spend almost, probably now, the estimates we have are only for 2020, but we are about 20% of our GDP is in the healthcare system. And that ends up being about $4.3 trillion. There is really good evidence that here, just in our own country, somewhere between the estimates are somewhere between about 740 to 930 billion dollars a year is waste. It's people who don't get care that they should get. It's people who get care that they shouldn't get, and it's systematic inefficiencies. So a lot of money that's just pure waste and not really contributed to the health of the people that those funds are intended to help. So a lot of problems with our current system. And so we provide some solutions. Next slide. We hope to create and plan to create a worldwide decentralized blockchain and health community. This is where we're able to put the power of the blockchain being decentralized with a focus on health, owned by node owners, owned by those who participate as members, in order to make decisions on their own, and given the resources and the tools in order to do that. So one of those, as is mentioned here, is to help people to control their health records. And that's a product that we plan to have down the road. Assist with self-assessment and diagnosis. And we'll talk a little bit about that, but we have a current partnership with an unbelievable resource named Canary Voice Recognition. And we know that they are able to, just through voice, and the amazing part internationally as well is that's a little bit surprising. It doesn't even matter which language we speak, that these AI tools are able to identify severe anxiety and depression and other things in a way that is at least as effective as having a physician or a specialist to make those diagnoses based on the current tools that we have to assess them. And then we want to incentivize healthy behaviors. That's the part of the digital rewards that's unique to the blockchain, is we're able to provide digital rewards for people for doing things like exercise, and Nathan's going to talk a little bit about that later, but also as far as taking care of ourselves, whether that be move to earn with regards to exercise, learn to earn in terms of helping people to understand whatever their medical conditions might be and be able to receive the information that they need in order to interact with their physicians and health system in a way that is most beneficial to them. And then also to facilitate transparent connections between people and other healthcare offerings, whether that be telehealth or physicians or other specialists or even wellness people, is a solution that we hope to provide. Next slide. So this is just a slide talking about the potential for growth. As you can see here, it was predicted that about $12 trillion in the global health market is spent on this industry. So huge amounts of money that's already spent there, despite all the inefficiencies that we just described. And as you can see, which you already know as part of blockchain folks, that the potential for the global blockchain market is on almost straight up status, as you can see here. It just makes perfect sense for us to get into this $12 trillion market and return power to people and give them the resources they need to be able to control their health. Next slide. This is a little bit personal for me. And so this is part of what persuaded me to come to Galvan. This is my daughter, and this was 5 years ago. She, as an emergency physician, it was the worst case scenario. She was at home with me and had a hemorrhage in her brain. And it turned out that she had brain cancer. She had a rare form of a rare brain cancer, a type called a high-grade anaplastic ganglioma. This is after they did surgery and they removed a piece to give us that diagnosis. As I was in that experience, which was my worst nightmare, I recognized that I was able to make decisions and be informed and confident with my wife that we were doing what was the best thing for my daughter. We had great doctors, but we had a lot of doctors and they had differing opinions and there was a lot of different treatment options. And one of the most frustrating things that I just remembered is I was a researcher. I spent 80% of my time doing research and published tons of papers. When I looked up her diagnosis and the papers that were available on the limited research that they had, they were going to charge me $75 to look at one paper. And that's not right. That's not what research is. The definition of research is to provide generalizable knowledge. People receive government funds and all sorts of funds in order to get the information about health to the people. And so I realized that through that experience that I had knowledge and training that everybody should have. And that's what Galvan hopes to do. My mission for Galvan is that we can provide the resources and the tools so that everybody can be confident in making decisions about what treatments, about what diagnostic tests, about why exercise is so important, about why taking their medicines is important, about why certain medicines are better than others, because they have the information that they're in their hands as part of this resource, is this decentralized tool that and the suite of products that Galvan tends to have. Because I want everyone, that was what I felt, is that I wanted everyone to have the kind of information that I needed to have as a physician researcher to be able to make those decisions. And that's why we were able to make decisions. My daughter's doing, I don't use this term lightly, she is a miraculous case. Maybe one of the first kids to go on genetically targeted medications because they hadn't even started trials in pediatric patients yet. But her prognosis was so poor that things aligned, and I feel like this was a learning opportunity for me and what we hope to spread so that everybody has the tools and the information and the trust in making decisions that they want. Now, that doesn't mean that everyone will have this kind of a miraculous cure. We won't be curing everything, but what we can do is give people confidence that they have the information they need in order to make the best decisions for themselves and their family, and that's what we're trying to do. Next slide. So here's our roadmap. As you probably know, we've already begun our node cells. We've begun a telehealth offering, which for our international community is not yet available, but we hope will be in the future. We've partnered with a group that actually is able to perform internationally, and putting our team together. We've been this year node network testing, so people who have nodes that turned those on a couple of months ago are already being calculated, and we will soon be able to distribute our IZE, which is our digital reward system for those that have had their nodes on, and the Move to Earn app, which Nathan's going to talk about here shortly. Canary, I mentioned, which is a mental fitness product, which allows us to, with very good sensitivity and specificity, identify people that are high on different scales. The PHQ-9, which is the usual test we use for depression, as well as the GAD-7, which is an anxiety test. We plan to have NFTs that will help to incentivize some of the healthy decisions that we think that will be helpful. Personal health records, which I am passionate about. I think it builds the infrastructure for us to provide the information that's necessary directly to people, and to get them the tailored information about what is best known in the world is from medical science perspective. That's there in 2024. The Learn to Earn. I think nobody wants to go read about diabetes, but I think with a little incentives, if you are diabetic, you should know what the best treatments are, and that's what we hope to provide to people, as well as to connect with service providers so people can get, when they do need the care, they can connect with physicians and systems that are available to them. And then we have also begun discussions. They're not formalized yet, but with some pretty remarkable self-testing labs that can be done at home with accuracy, so that people are, again, back to our decentralized model where we can be given as much information as necessary to communicate, to interact with the health system. And then lastly, I think we can believe the D-side movement of creating our own evidence. People need not worry that the evidence that they're looking at is biased based on the source, whether that be pharmaceutical or health system or government or otherwise. Our communities can be able to put themselves together, whether that be from the Nordic region for people to look at how their outcomes compare to others that are like them, But this gives people the chance and the infrastructure to be able to do that, to look at health outcomes in a totally different way that's completely objective and in control of people that are there. So with that, I'm going to turn the time over to Nathan, who's going to talk a little bit about our initial product we've been working a lot on related to our fitness app.
Okay, guys. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited to talk about this. I believe that in the next year with this fitness app, we can not only attract millions of users, but incentivize millions of people to live healthier lives. So we are actually in development of a move to earn app right now. And if you guys are familiar with this upcoming industry, in past years, we've heard a lot about play to earn, video games where you can play and earn digital rewards. We want to be one of the biggest move to earn applications in the world because we believe it has tons of potential, and we want to motivate people to get outside or go to the gym or really just have more physical activity in their lives. So we are in development of this right now. I can show you guys. I have it on my phone right here. We've been beta testing it. So what you're seeing right here on the screen is not just like some fancy mock-up. Like, we are actually building this right now. So it's super exciting. We're hoping we can release a version for all of you this summer. But we're going to dive a little bit into this fitness app and how it's going to work. Okay, so it's going to be pretty simple. It will connect with wearables like Apple Watch, Fitbit, and Android watches like the Samsung Galaxy, for example. And we can talk a lot about all the wearables that we're planning on integrating with, but you connect it to your wearable, you sync the data with the app, and when you reach certain recommendations, you will be rewarded in points that will rank you higher in the IZE distribution. So this is going to be an awesome way to get rewarded for your activity and get some instant incentivization from that. So it's going to be awesome. Let's see. Okay, so a lot of people are going to ask, okay, well, what metrics will be rewarded? And if you guys look at all of the move to earn apps starting to emerge, because there's a lot of them, it's popular. Like this industry has a lot of potential. They all are tracking either steps or walking or running outside based on your GPS. It's really a mix of those two, steps or walking and running outside. And when we looked at this, we said, wait a minute, that's cool. Getting a lot of steps every day is great. Going on a walk outside is great. Going on a run outside is great. But how flexible is that? What about the people that maybe even have disabilities that can't go walk or run? What about the people that go to the gym and lift every day, right? What about the people that go swimming? Or what about the people that don't have, that can't have their phone on them during their workout and they can't track their GPS? We just felt that the way a lot of companies were doing it wasn't very flexible for people's lifestyle. So we thought about what is the best metric to reward. And when we really did this analysis, we thought it's heart rate. It's heart rate because every person has a heart, and we can track their exertion, how much effort they're putting into their exercises based on their heart rate. And the way we calculate this, it's pretty simple. You just take your age minus 220 and you get your max heart rate. And then from that, you can get target heart rate zones. And so a lot of the big health organizations out there, like the CDC and the AHA, they all recommend that we get 150 minutes of moderate activity a week, which is 50 to 70% of your maximum heart rate, where you spend that much time in those heart rate zones a week, or a mix of that, or 75 minutes of vigorous activity a week. And they show that this is actually one of the most effective medicines in the entire world. It decreases your chance to get life-altering diseases more than like any other thing in the world. It is really crazy if you look at all this data. And we really see that, and we believe at Galvan, based on all this data, that if we can get people to move into exercising, to follow these recommendations, then the health outcomes are going to be super positive. So this is what we're going to reward. There's going to be a daily reward and a weekly reward. We want someone to feel incentivized to go and do something today and then also hit that recommendation every week. So when you go and get 30 minutes of moderate activity a day, you'll get some points in the IZE distribution. And then when you reach that recommendation by the end of the week, you will also get a reward for that. So this is going to be a really fun way to go out and start exercising. People are going to ask, what are the rewards and how do the rewards work? So if you guys didn't know this, the way the IZE distribution is actually going to work, even with the nodes, is it's all a point system. Whoever is contributing and helping and growing the community the most will receive points that then translate into the daily distribution. The points will pretty much accumulate for that day, and they will rank you, whoever is contributing the most, and based on your ranking, you will get a piece of the IZE distribution. So the way it's going to work in phase 1 here with the fitness app is you will receive points and rank higher. And the way you qualify, the way you can be part of this is through your smart node or your light node. So we're going to talk a little bit. We'll turn the time over to Jeff here in a little bit to talk about the nodes, but I'm sure you guys are familiar hearing about green and element, about how it works. But the first people to be able to access the rewards through the Move to Earn app are the node owners. If you have a node, you are on the wait list right now. And these are going to be the first people. So the light node's great because it's $25. It's not a huge barrier to entry. So we believe we can get millions of people to buy these light nodes and start working out. And then the smart node, obviously, if you have the smart node and you work out, you will earn a lot. You'll earn significant amount of rewards for your exercise, and it will be more than the light node. So we are going to release, and Adam or Jeff might talk a little more about this to you guys, but we're actually working on a light paper right now, and we are going to release very specific information about all the tokenomics. But what you need to know for now is if you own a smart node and you're working out every day, you are going to earn significantly more points in the distribution and will receive more IZE as a result. So this is going to be awesome. Phase 2 down the road, this will come a little later, and you saw this on our roadmap with the NFTs, but we will create an unlimited digital reward that will reward you straight up with that digital reward for every action that you do, for every time you hit the fitness recommendations. And that will come more down the road. We won't talk about it a lot today, but this is awesome. Before I transition to the next one, I just want to say, I'm not sure what the popular wearables are over where you guys are, but we did a lot of research, and we recognized if we connect to Apple Health Kit, which connects with the Apple Watch, the Oura Ring, the Whoop Band, and then with Fitbit, which is very popular as well, and then Google Fit, which connects with many Android watches, Huawei, Xiaomi, and Samsung Galaxy, we would cover pretty much all the market. So if you guys don't have one of these watches now, this would be a good opportunity and a good excuse to tell your spouse or your family, hey, I got to go buy one of these to start tracking my heart rate and working out. But we will release more specific information on which wearables will work the best in this ecosystem. But just know this, if it can track heart rate and track heart rate during your workouts actively, then most of those wearables should work. So this is going to be awesome. I'm super excited about this. I really believe this has potential to bring millions of users to Galvan, which we then can provide with awesome things that Adam talked about, like having them store their medical records and giving them medical information. Because some of that stuff, when you tell that to people, they might not get the most excited about that. But if you're getting rewarded for exercising, it's not only really easy to explain, but it'll be really easy to draw people into our ecosystem and then provide them with even more benefits. So we believe that this fitness app will be a catalyst to attract millions of users to Galvan. We'll ask some questions at the very end, but we'll now turn it over to Jeff to talk a little bit about nodes.
So guys, I'm excited. As you can see, I've actually been here for working on Galvan, formerly known as Blue, and for a minute. And as you can see, I am so excited that Adam has come on board. All the things that we need to kind of carry us into the vision that we have and to guide us. And we're so excited he's here. And as you guys have got to know, Nathan and you'll get to know more of our team as you see our stuff on our website and are part of any of our other presentations or on the social media stuff. Our team is growing, and we're just getting great people involved in this. And so you can see through the fitness app is the perfect example, and one of our lead products that we're going to show how we can start to incentivize people for healthy behaviors. Adam talked a lot about the healthcare and how we are, the things that we're going to do, the areas that we're going to tackle and bring people in and utilize blockchain, technology for transparency and incentivization. And so we have a lot of wonderful things coming that we're going to do in the area of health and wellness. But who we're on this call with today, all of you, I recognize, are all entrepreneurs. You guys are all people that are wanting to now say, hey, that's wonderful. Yeah, I'll be a user and a consumer and work with those products, but I also like to get involved. How do I help support this project? How do I help this project go? And, the nodes, which you guys have probably heard a little bit, is really the way that each of you could potentially, participate in supporting the growth of the network. So at the beginning, we talked a little bit about how nodes, go ahead and go to the next slide, Nathan. The nodes are like the cell phone towers, right? I love this analogy because this really plays well to the path that we're taking to set up the blockchain network that will support all of these things that we're doing. If you imagine, I'm old enough to remember, y'all, when even cell phones were becoming a thing before, I grew up without cell phones at a young age, and then they started that. Now they're everywhere. But when they first came out, what they had to do, or say a new cell phone company now comes out, is they have to go and they have to establish and put up strategically, geographically, the cell phone towers, right? They put them up. The next step they do is they turn them on so that the network is talking to each other. And so we're testing the network, we're seeing what's going on. And then they started selling cell phones, right? And then they started selling cell phones. And what's interesting is at the beginning, before they had their own network, they actually, some of these guys, and I think you maybe have known this, have used, Verizon or some of the other big, they'll use other networks and borrow those until maybe that company grows and it becomes a good business case or strategy to create their own network, right? So we are starting on the Ethereum network. We're starting on the Ethereum network with the ERC20, but as we get, enough nodes or cell phone towers out and established, we will then, there is a time and there will be a phase where we will then roll it onto our complete own network or own blockchain. So from there, so that's kind of the path. And so turning on the nodes, and what the nodes do on the network, and I think you guys know this, is, we'll confirm transactions, will help, maybe a decentralized ledger of information and things on there, and also help facilitate our, the distribution algorithm and help manage, the smart contract. And, the reason that we have, so many nodes and cell phone towers nodes out there around the world is they're not centralized in one location, that they're spread around, and which adds to the security and stability of the network, spread around throughout the world, really run on in many different locations, and the stability and security of it, right? So Nathan, go ahead and go to the next slide. What we're doing right now, so you guys understand, is our nodes are turned on. If you own a node, you should be turning it on and running it at least 6 hours a day or more. So we started that on February 16th. Now, what this does is this is where we're putting up cell phone towers. We're starting to test the network, starting to see how they communicate and that they're pinging the network and that they're on. And what's happening in this phase is you will actually get credit for rewards, credit and rewarded for the time that you're running your nodes now to help the testing, right? So just to be clear, and it says right here, what that means is when the distribution happens, we're actually able to start distributing, the digital reward eyes into your apps or your wallets. It will actually backdate to February 16th to see how many times you had your node on, and you will get credit and a distribution for all that time. So now is the time to, again, purchase, turn on, because it's counting. And as you guys know, the way the distribution model works, just to spend a quick second on that, is it's, we're structured like our other sister blockchains that you guys have talked to. We're going to have 50 billion tokens as the tokenomics, and the first half of that, the 25 billion tokens, are what will be distributed in the first year. So it's counting. So there is a lot of the EYES digital reward being distributed now to the node owners. So to come in, or for the early people that come in early, believed in the project, got their cell phone towers, their nodes purchased and turned on, will be getting a large portion of that reward. So that's a good incentive to want to get Galvan nodes and turn them on and help us establish that, right? The other part of that I would say is, well, go to the next slide, Nathan. I think maybe we talk about it here. Yes, so we have, well, we didn't mention it fully on here, but we have two different types of nodes. And the other part that I was going to say was having your node on and testing the network earns you points for the distribution right now, right? The other thing that it does is, as you share it, as you go and help grow the network, bring more people in to help put up more cell phone towers around, and helps to the security, stability, and growth, and help build the community of node owners, means you actually get more points as well to the distribution. So it's all those actions. It's sharing, it's running your node, it's the healthy exercise, it's the other things that we'll start doing will earn you points to get more of that distribution, like we said, is coming through the node owners. So we do have two versions of the nodes, right? We have the smart node, which is the full packaged software licensed node, where it's like a full node supporting it. And we have a light node. Now these light nodes are a little bit more limited. They're actually they're different in price. In pricing, currently our smart nodes are priced at $3,800. The light nodes are $25, and that $25 for the light node price will never change. That's just, again, to get many more people out there, but they don't really do a heavy lifting on the network support there, but we want to grow that one as well. So both, we want to get as many people in. And you can see on this chart, the distribution is obviously for a full smart node, you get a much more portion of the daily distribution. The light node will be much more limited. You'll get full amount for exercise if you own a smart node, like for the app, like we said. And then the other things that we'll be doing in the future will be heavily weighted towards the early supporters and the people that have the soft node or smart node and are in supporting it fully. The light nodes get a limited amount. They still get something. All of our NFT drops and voting are only with the smart node, not the light node. Okay. So we will very quickly here, as we get through the next phases of turning on our blockchain network, once we kind of get past testing and distribution, there will be rolled out on the soft node the voting mechanisms that are attached to your license, and you all will be the community. We are helping to start this here and are communicating, but it's all the node owners. It's you all and everybody you share it with. It's as a community-driven blockchain, decentralized project. So everybody will, initiatives will be put out and put up for vote, and everyone will have a chance to vote, and we'll go by the voting of the smart node owners. So another reason there. So go ahead, Nathan. So yeah, just to let you guys know some of the things that are happening. Some of this is in the US, but there's a couple of really big conferences coming up. So you guys know we are actively out and working with and growing our community. It's growing very rapidly. If any of you are involved in our Discord channel or any of our social media, you'll see things happening. But we are growing, bringing in people internally to help us drive sales and to market. We're going out to some of these big events to talk with many of the crypto blockchain enthusiasts to describe to them what our project is and to garner support. And I'll just tell you guys this: we are always very excited and actually humbled and and that every time we present this, we have such a good response that we're gaining so much momentum and so many people growing with us that it's, you know, we feel like the momentum is just going to keep growing and going fast. And this thing is going to, you know, we hope will continue and we'll go fast. So, you know, we're going to these events. We're launching the fitness app here soon. The first version of it, it'll develop over time as all software does, right? But the first version will come here pretty quickly. And the eyes distribution will actually dropping into your token and giving you credit for running your nodes, and very soon credit for doing the fitness app will start in a very similar time frame. We don't have specific dates for you guys, but you know, all of this is expected. We're working towards and expecting it to be in the next you know, couple to few months, right? We're not talking years or, you know, down the road. We're talking in months is kind of our time frames for these, right? So that is that's where we are. So that's how we support. So one thing I wanted to mention here in helping you guys, because we are in actively what I've been doing, and this is kind of, you know, I love that we're getting the opportunity to meet, you know, different kind of groups and connect like this group here. I wanted to make myself specifically available, and if I can't, we'll have somebody on the team and I can bring others. If there's ever a time when any of you have you know, 2 or 3 or even one person that you know is looking to get questions answered and are interested in Galvan and maybe participating in the network and purchasing some smart nodes, if they're looking to buy, let's say, I don't know, 10 or more nodes, or that you put a call together for that, I'd be willing to get on just an individual phone call with anybody for that. I'd love to get on for all the one-off people that want to buy just one here and there, but the time is hard. So I'm trying to, you know, schedule, make sure we have time. So if you have somebody that are like a little bit, you know, bigger, they really are interested and they want to come in, we'd be glad to help support you on that. Nathan or Caleb, could you guys drop in the chat? I'm going to give you guys my email. You can email me and we can coordinate schedules and do a call. Jeff@galvan.health. You guys can coordinate with me and we'll get on and discuss and answer questions and support you guys in doing that. Because again, our goal for success of all these things is to first build the base, which is to build the stability of the cell phone tower network, the node network. We need as many people in and driving that and having them on and stabilizing that as much as possible. So this last quick thing, and then we'll turn to questions. You know, I just want to mention, you know, if you look at it, all of our blockchain projects have some similarities, but we also have some differences. And we've taken a little bit different path than some of the other ones. If you've noticed, we've by design taken a little bit more steady path and strategic. But if you look, for example, with Switch, you know, Green is I love product. I own nodes and all these things too. I'm excited about them. But Green has been out for a minute, has already gone through a few halvings, and so the distribution, there's many people there. The distribution is still good, but it's different than what it is here in the very first distribution. Switch is an incredible project. I love it, but it is also modeled differently. They sold nodes early on a little bit differently than we did, and so they have their price of their node is a little bit more expensive than ours. But our time frame to when our node, our distribution happens, to when our products go live, we're on a similar time frame. So I always mention this as entrepreneurs and people who are both looking to you know, buy nodes and support it, but also potentially share them within Connect to others. You know, if for a good, quick, you know, fast win for you guys, Galvan is perfectly positioned. When you look at the you know, the time from purchasing versus the price of a node to purchase and the time to when the distribution starts to happen, we're the best positioned project of all of these projects. So, you know, to the soonest to get to some of those milestones in our project. So I just wanted to mention that to you guys. You know, we're excited, but we feel like we're in a key place to just really explode. And so the momentum's growing, like we said, at all these events and things we're going, and the other efforts and calls that we've been having. And so we're here to support you guys. And here's this. Please scan that code or click on that Linktree link. And if you haven't, make sure you're following us on Discord and our social media accounts. You guys will stay plugged in, get all the updated news and events, and we have some promotions and some giveaways. We have some cool things coming. I don't know if you guys, we have I have with some cool, you see that, like the giveaways, the hard tokens, the commemorative tokens, right, that are kind of fun. We have the Galvan ones are coming here in a little while, and we'll do some giveaways with that. And we need to get you guys things like some Galvan shirts. Who's got a Galvan shirt on today? Is that you, Nathan? Yeah, we got to get you guys wearing some of our stuff and get some stuff out to you. So anyway, so please participate in all our social media so we can connect with you guys. And like we said, we are a community, because even though, and I always say this, even though we are working on this side, trying to help establish this, we are actually all the same as you. I know this for a fact. All of the people that you've talked today and everybody on our team all own nodes, and we are node owners like you, and we are in the community with you. And that's what we're doing. We want this to grow and be steady and established for all the reasons that you guys do as well. So what questions do you guys have for us? We appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone. And first of all, I will thank you, Adam, for explaining everything more. It can be a little bit complex sometimes for people to be in crypto overall, but to understand everything about the big picture that Galvan can do in the future, it's hard to people. So I think you have great products that can meet people where they are at right now, and then we can educate them during we go through. So I think that was fantastic, and also that your daughter is recovering well. It's also a very touching story. So very glad, and hope everyone will have the same opportunity in the future to have everything, so you can take the great decisions for everyone in the future. So that was fantastic. And Nathan, we discussed that with the app. It's a fantastic tool for everyone to talk to everyone. So everyone need that. Everyone need motivation. So I think that's a great door opener for everyone that's working in Connect or doing whatever. It's going to be an organic growth from there. And Jeff, you touch it on the nodes. I think, as you say, the opportunity right now with the Galvan is perfect timing. The node prices is great for everyone that can be involved right now, even though you didn't get the best. I was sitting in a gala meeting 3 years ago with Eric. The node cost $1,000. I invested too much in green nodes. I didn't bought 5 nodes at that time, and today they cost $100,000 each, and also produce maybe 40 million tokens if you got 5 nodes, for example. So you can imagine what can happen here when you're sitting here today. But so I think it's a great opportunity. You can buy small light nodes, but you can also participate with big smart nodes where you are in your knowledge right now. So I really appreciate that very, very much. And the question I send over to you, maybe I can read them in order so some of you can answer them. So the first question is, what physical products maybe will you be able to buy from Galvan in the future?
Go ahead, Adam. No, you go. That's what I was going to say. Have Adam answer that.
Yeah, I think we are growing. The initial products specifically are the telehealth, the fitness app that we described. One that we're really excited about that I said we're in the process of building. We already have the contractual agreements, is the Canary mental health wellness offering, which will be fantastic, and the personalized health record, which again, part of that is those are the first set of products. We have a distant roadmap where there will be other offerings and opportunities to actually make connections with people and the actual delivery care systems wherever they might be, but those are down the road. So those are our initial products.
Yeah, that's great. I think it's great to not steal the thunder for the future also. If there can be more presence during we go through. And next question, I know we're talking about the tokenomics and releasing a white paper, and I think many people that already bought smart nodes and light nodes are interesting also too, if you can touch on that today, how much if it's going to be like 50% of the distribution goes to node owners and rest goes to actions people take to build a community. Do you have some kind of answer on that one?
Yeah, so Jeff and Nathan, you guys can chime in here anytime you like, but we are working on the details of the distribution. Our model and all the models of our sister companies is that all digital rewards will funnel through nodes in some capacity or another. What we're doing now is, as with any of these, the proof of action is that you've turned the node on. So if you buy a license and never turn it on, you will never get any digital rewards, sadly. But so to your point, everyone who turns on their nodes, the other thing that we want to incentivize in the initial distribution until we get our exercise offering up, because that's not even available yet, will be sharing. So really it's turning your node on, making sure that it functions so that we can do the testing necessary to build the blockchain, as well as sharing, because that's an important component of us building the network we need to actually accomplish our mission down the road. Yeah. So that and then as was mentioned, we will have all the details that everybody's wanting in terms of the specifics of how much more do you get for exercising and whatnot. And part of that will be eventually turns to the community, where we will be able to vote on how we want to set that up. But our intentions are here to be aligned with our mission, so that people that are willing to build the node will be rewarded. Those who get in early that believed in our company will be rewarded most. And those who share it with others will additionally be rewarded. So that's our overall plan, and the details of that will be coming forward in the next very near future as we allocate the initial distributions, so that everybody is crystal clear on that.
Yeah, thank you so much about that. I think also we have sold a lot of Galvan nodes blue before, and sometimes maybe people didn't understand exactly. So, referral and things. Did we put the email or the ID number, or can we retroactively do things before distribution happens, so we know everything, everybody get the right points from their sharing?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So Casey is our fantastic customer service rep, and we have a mechanism for tracking those who have been referred by people. But if anybody owns a node who feels that maybe that's off, just let us know. We want to get that right. So I think that's an important component of all this, and we want to help facilitate that.
Yeah, I think that's very good.
Well, just to add to that, sorry, yeah, and especially with Connect and how Connect is creating your referral stuff. We're working closely with everybody over at Connect to make sure that is being tracked and will translate over to us here at Galvan. So yes.
Yeah. So, but do you think it's good if we look at the right? Is it going to be the email or the ID number, or that people?
Yeah, username is how you connect, right? Your username by username. So if you guys have, so if there's any history you have, well, the share links and stuff too. Yes. So, but if you have any history and you want to double check and say, hey, I know this is my team. I don't know if you guys have visibility on that over at Connect yet to see who your team is. So, but yeah, I don't think it's a bad idea to send over, your email saying, this is who I know I have referred. If they're in the system, I want to make sure that they're, so you can make sure that you get, that everything is appropriately assigned, right?
Yeah,
and just to be clear, everybody may know this, and that's great, but Jeff brings up a good point. So we don't have any control over Connect, which has their processes, which is tracking all the rewards for people that are helping to sell the products on Connect, which is fantastic. And Nathan brought up the share link on our end, which will be rewarded for those who own nodes in our system. So you get rewarded in both ways, really, if you're connected with Connect, potentially connected with the Win blockchain, which rewards you and your teams, and then our specific company, which will reward those similarly if you own nodes for others who purchase nodes, and that's through the share link. So hopefully that's clear, but there's slightly different paths to connect on that, and we're happy to make sure that on the Galvan side that's all correct. And I know that Jonathan and the others at Connect will make sure that that's right on their end as well.
Yeah, and I think that's the most important thing, that companies are independent from each other and can build their own marketing and everything, and together we can bring synergy effects and create, because we are sitting in this together, everyone.
Yeah.
Yep. And okay, next one. What does the marketing strategy look like? Make people understand the training app, for example. It's going to be let's say we release it in July, August, or September. It's going to be a global marketing plan. And what's your strategy there, Nathan?
Oh, with the fitness?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few things we want to do. Number one, we want to start tapping into these fitness audiences. So I don't know if you guys saw, but we actually just went to one of the biggest fitness conferences in the United States and had a whole like booth and exhibit just this last weekend. So one way we're going to tap in is going into these events. Another thing we're going to do is we're going to reward people for signing up for the app. So when people sign up for the app, there are going to be action points where people will get rewarded. And so someone sharing and then someone signing up will be rewarded. So we're hoping that the word of mouth will spread a lot like that. And then obviously, if you guys follow us on social media, we're starting to get a lot more traction. So we're going to be going hard in Discord, Reddit, Instagram. Instagram's big for fitness, TikTok. On the social media side of things, we feel like we can get a lot of people that it makes sense. Oh, I can exercise and get rewarded. So we feel like we can really push that messaging on social media platforms and hopefully build a huge audience from that. So
to go on with that too, we're building an active relationship with several sponsored athletes that play professionally and in the training world, like bodybuilders as well. So that's another exciting thing that gets millions of eyes on our project.
Yeah, if you guys have anyone that you know, like any sort of influencer or ambassador that is an athlete or someone into the fitness community, you guys should message us and let us know. Because yeah, like Caleb said, we really want to work with a bunch of influencers as well. So
constantly grow.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fantastic. We're going to look into that. I think that's very, very interesting. And next question is also like, I think that's in the future also, like for a doctor, how can that be verified to work on the blockchain as consultation? But is that hard to touch on today, or?
I'll make an attempt at this. So we plan to hopefully, if things go as planned, we would love for this to be the blockchain for health in the world. And that is extremely ambitious. Acknowledging the various ways in which health systems function, how that Galvan would plug into the health system in Sweden or Norway or Finland, for example, is very different than it would happen in California, where I live. So that is our ambition, and I think it will plug in various ways. Right now, we have, as mentioned, we have an opportunity with a company offering a very small portion of healthcare, which is in telehealth, which can help with some things, but certainly not everything. So that's part of our future goals, and I think how we interact with that system. Part of this will be disruptive to change the way the health system functions, period. Trying to really return autonomy to the people, which often don't have much autonomy in the systems that they may be surrounding them. So that's a long answer to, we have vision of doing that, and it's not yet well vetted, and it will be entirely dependent upon where people are, where that will help. But we believe, and I believe this wholeheartedly, that our tools and our products in focusing on the person and the members and the node owners and the people in our community will help to inform them so that they can interact with the health system in a way that is unique for them. And we will work to facilitate that, but that'll be different depending on where you are, either even in the United States, very different depending on where you live, and not as different depending on the government-based health systems wherever you might be. But I think it'll look differently. I will say this, we have a huge interest by physicians and people in the current health system. And that's very, very promising, because it's not if, it's how we do that down the road.
Yeah, and I also think the world will go into adaptation also to new technology. And you see that in green, when we was in green 4 years ago. Now everyone is talking about renewable energy, and the timing is perfect. We have a war between Ukraine and Russia, the natural gases and things like that also. So you see adaptation will happen, and when you move in the right direction, then we'll fit together in the future, I think.
Yeah.
So that's great. And if we look at the next question, it's not many questions left. If you do not just want to own a node or smart node, how can you contribute to the success of the project and that our Nordic countries launch telehealth? Because I think 2,500 people using telehealth, then you can launch a country. We can read on the webpage. How can we help get exposure and adoption here in this market?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I mean, part of it is just starting with word of mouth. We want to help really. Part of this is a new product and a new model, and that's really important. And we're working hard on that. Part of it's a culture change. Yeah. That's something that we need, a groundswell of you all that hear this and think, you know what, I should know and have the information I need to make the best health decisions about when I need to see the doctor and how to interpret what the doctor says and some of the diagnostic tests that they run. So I think word of mouth is really important. Nathan and and Caleb and Tally, who I think might be on here, and I think we have one other team member, Trey, that's also on here with us. But spreading this via social media is important. Just getting the word out. And so I think there's a variety of ways. If investing is not something that you can do at the moment, and as I mentioned, like I think as we create new products, I'm not aware of anything remotely like what we plan to do with Canary and the voice recognition to help identify when people have severe anxiety and depression. So those are all products that are going to be really worldwide and really advantageous to people in the future in your countries and others. So I think besides nodes, buying nodes, selling nodes, really it's getting the word out that we need some changes, and I think this is one solution to help make those things change.
Yeah, it's a community-driven product, and if you start with the cell towers and then using the different products, then it will grow from there. So that's perfect. Okay, you answered that question. It was the last question here. Is the plan to have its own blockchain in the future? So the more cell towers, the more chance to get the own blockchain in the future, right?
Yep.
Someone sent me a question. Peter said, will there be some sort of fitness challenges that you can compete, which rewards you with IZE, like run a marathon, half marathon, and so on? So yes, I will say the first version of the fitness app will be fairly simple. It'll be for node owners. It'll be if you meet the 30 minutes a day and 150 minutes a week. But we have amazing things that we want to implement into the fitness app, including competitions. Because a lot of people are like, oh, I already do 150 minutes a week, but what about if I do 300 minutes a week? What about the overachievers, the people that are out there doing a lot? And really, we want to have awesome competitions and games and different things like that. So I will say, yes, that is in our plans, but this will not be in the first version of the fitness app, but it will come down the road. So you can do a competition and win more IZE. So anyways.
My last question is like, if we look from a person from building fast, also from the app, I think if people just can sign up for an app and they can get something for doing something, then they can like touch on something and educate themselves and start how to understand how to buy a light node or a smart node, then we will have a door opener and we will educate them along the way. Is that something also that coming, or do everyone needs to own a smart node? Can we have something coming so they will start to understand and have something for it?
Yes, I'll jump in. We have, like, you'll be able to sign up for a free account to try out the software, utilize the app for exercise. And so, yeah, people will be able to get in and be a part of the, feel like they're part of the community and participate right away. So that is the plan. Is then as they feel and understand and see it and experiencing it, then they'll want to, move to buying it, at least a light node, right?
Because if people get something for your educating themselves, look at a video or something, get some ice distribution, then people are gonna buy a node eventually, right? Yeah. So I think that's gonna be great. Okay, so I'm very, very glad very highly appreciate you everyone taking your time. Is there anything more you want to share today, or do you think?
No, I'm just excited to hear from any of you guys. If you need help on any calls with any big things, I'm excited to start working directly with you guys. So just let us know. We're here to help.
Yeah, we're glad for that. Very thankful. So, okay. So thank you so much, everyone. We are really glad you're taking the time today. So we're looking forward to meet you soon again, and have a great evening or morning or afternoon here.
Thank you all. Thanks for having us.
Thank you guys so much.